Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a pretty simple no flash cheat for CSGO. This cheat is going to be external and we're going to be using C++. This is a super great way to get into any kind of game cheats because it's a pretty simple cheat and it shows you how to use the offsets. With all that said, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So all we need to do is open up our IDE of choice. So let's go ahead and open a new project. And we can just do an empty project because I don't like all the extra junk it gives me. And let's just do no flash tutorial. And let's go ahead and create that. Now with CSGO cheats, we want to go ahead and change a few settings before we start coding or we'll get some errors. We can go ahead and change to x86 because CSGO is a 32-bit game. Change this to release. Now you're going to right click on your solution name and go to properties. Now we need to change a few things in here. First, let's start with changing our C++ to C++20. And then we need to go down here to advanced and change Unicode character set to multibyte character set. Now we are ready to go ahead and start all of the code. Let's go ahead and make a source file called main.cpp. This file is going to be our main file that controls everything. Next, we want to go to resource files and add a new header file. This is actually going to contain all of our no flash code. And like it says in the title, we're only going to be using 3 files for this entire cheat. So we need one more file. This is going to be our memory.h header file. This file will hold everything necessary to actually read and write to memory. Now here is our memory file. This is how we're going to read, write, and handle our memory. Now I do want to make it known that this is a memory file by Kaz. He's also on YouTube. I loved his stuff and I was actually watching one of his tutorials and I just so happened to maybe take his memory file because he wrote it really well and memory is almost always the same with external, so there's no reason in changing it. Now what this memory function is doing is it's basically taking a snapshot of all of the processes running and it's going through each process asking if it's the right process by comparing the name of the process, and if it is, then we have the correct process. And whenever we have the correct process, we can go ahead and open that process and now we can use this memory. Right here is just a deconstructor that frees the handle. It doesn't really matter. Now here we have get module address. Get module address is actually going to get the module address for the process ID. So if we want to get into client or engine, those are both DLL files inside of the process that we need to get access to using get module address. This virtually does the same thing, just gets the module address. The reprocess memory is exactly what it sounds like. It's going to read from a address and it's just going to return the value. To write to a process memory is literally the same. You're just adding the value to wherever that address is. And so that's it for the memory file. This file will be in the GitHub link in the description to the actual code of this. I recommend don't go ahead and just steal the code. Do this along with me to actually learn. If you're not wanting to learn, then just steal the code off of GitHub. So now that we have our memory file out of the way, let's go ahead and start writing our actual script for the no flash. Here we are initializing our memory class by passing in csgo.exe, which is the name of the process that we want to get the ID. And here we're getting our client by doing memory.getModuleAddress, and we're getting that client.dll file. Now we need to go ahead and read our local player from memory. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and do const auto and then our player is equal to, now we're going to read from memory here using our memory file. And we're going to use an unassigned integer here. So now we're going to use client, which is that client module that we just grabbed. But there's an issue. We don't have any offsets to read from. So if you don't know what offsets are, they're basically a certain way of defining certain places in memory. There's a GitHub repo called HazeDumper. This GitHub repo is where you can get all of the offsets or the most recent offsets. For a while now, they have been dumping the offsets and giving them out for free every single time the game updates, which is super cool. Now we're going to need a few offsets here. We're going to need our local player. We're going to need our Flash Max Alpha. And that's it, we're done. So now we can use that offset to read from the local player. And so now we've actually got to write to the memory that we don't want to flash. So now we're going to do memory.write, and we're going to be writing a float. And what are we going to be writing to? Well, we have our player, which is our local player, which is us. Now we're going to be writing to our local player plus the Flash Max Alpha offset. And what are we going to be writing? We're going to be writing 0.f, which all that means is 0 and it's a float. That 0 is going to constantly change, well, whenever we run it through a while loop, it's going to constantly change our Flash Max Alpha offset to 0. So to go over this file one more time, we are going up here and we're initializing our memory class by finding the process of csgo.exe. Here we have our offsets, which is just leading to certain parts of memory so we can mess with the game. And here we have our main run no flash function. It's going to go ahead and make a our player variable. All this is doing is reading from memory our client module, which is where we got the module address up here, and our DW local player offset. It's going to be our player plus the Flash Max Alpha offset to 0.f. And like I said earlier, this .f just means float, and we're setting it to 0. If we set it to 5000, then we'd constantly be flashed. And so now that we have our no flash file done, we can go ahead and move over to main.cpp. Of course, we need to include our no flash file. Now let's go ahead and make a function called main, and this is going to be where our code actually starts. And now this is actually super simple. All we need to do is run no flash. A while loop is of course super easy. We can just do while true and then stick our run no flash into there. And so now that we have our main function running, we can go ahead and try and build this. And it looked like we got an error. So run no flash should actually return a value, which I commonly mess up on. So make sure to always return a value. It's the value that you're supposed to return to. And here in main.cpp, we actually need to do the same. Now this code should 100% work. And perfect, as you can see, one build succeeded. Let's see if this works in game. Here, let's go ahead and run our code. Go back to CSGO. Let's see. And as you can see, this cheat obviously works. Pretty cool, pretty simple. I'd highly recommend for people who are just getting into CSGO cheats or any cheats in general. Kind of gives you a small overlook of what it's like. I do not recommend using this on real VAX servers because you will get banned, of course. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, let me know by hitting the like and subscribe button if you want more content like this, because I will be making more advanced cheats such as IMGUI, using DirectX, doing hooks, maybe some internal stuff, I'm not exactly sure. But if you like this content, let me know by hitting the like and subscribe button. It makes me feel better knowing that you guys actually like this content and I should keep doing more. Remember, everything that I used in the videos in the link in the description if you want to go check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.